we transitioned into hand sanitizer, and for months that was our only production, was to make hand sanitizer.
Oh my gosh,
Yes,
really?
yes, and
Out of molasses. No, I'm
The
kidding.
gold rush
Right,
of hand
right.
sanitizer.
Wait, actually?
yes, yeah.
Yeah.
And so the idea of hand sanitizer.
So cool. I had no idea. Molasses had so many.
It's not going to taste like
features.
that at the bar, guys. I
Yeah,
swear.
do not taste the hand
Not the
sanitizer.
idea, but
Welcome back to Everybody Loves Naples. We are joined today by two special guests, Venetians, as I just referred to on the plane yesterday, and some girl who's a Venetian was like, what are you talking about? Some Venetians that are originally Neapolitans, correct?
Yeah, born and raised in Naples.
Yeah.
Alligator Bay Distillers, brothers, Ben and Alex Voss.
hello.
Boss. Is your
Boss.
last name really Boss?
Voss, yeah, like Voss water.
Boss, like the water.
Yeah,
I
hit
thought
the
it was
hard V.
Boss.
It's
Okay, I
very,
like it.
Spanish of me.
Boss. All right, Ben and Alex Voss. Welcome.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
We've got some it's big things are happening, as you know, in Bonita. We talk about Bonita a lot on the show because a lot of us Naples kids have moved our way up to Bonita either living or starting businesses or just enjoying all that there is to do, including something that's really exciting. I see you guys working every day. You're bringing Alligator Bay Distilleries to Downtown Bonita.
Yep.
So your distillery will be there, and then you will also serve your product and beverages that we'll get into. Is that right?
Correct. Yep.
Okay. The space is, tell us where the space is.
So the space is located on the corner of Wilson Street and Old 41,
Okay.
directly across the street from Benson's Grocery in Chartreuse.
Nice.
And the space before it became what's going to be the Hide-A-Wai was the Imperial River Laundromat.
Okay.
So it was a laundromat back in the day. And so there's certain like aspects on the inside of the actual facility where once you walk in, you'll see like more towards like the left-hand side, there's like patches that cover up where all the dryer vents used to be.
Okay.
And I thought it would have been fun to like have like a commercial like washer or dryer where people can actually like crawl through to get into the Hideaway, but it just
Oh my gosh, that
didn't
would have
happen.
been awesome.
Yeah.
Like,
Would have
what's
fit
the
with the name.
password?
I want to touch on the name in a bit, but let's go back to Alligator Bay origin stories. Talk us through like how that came to be.
So Alex, you want to talk about Hawaii?
Yeah, talk to me about Hawaii.
The reason I started to make rum was by accident. I was living in San Francisco. I was working for a PR firm, Edelman, and I thought I'd made it. I was like, this is the job that I went to school for. And I got laid off. And I was hustling in the city, trying to make it as a designer, 2010, roughly. And I didn't like it. A friend of mine I met there had moved to Maui. And we had done some construction on the side together. And he calls and asks if I'd be interested in working for him on Maui. And I said, well, nothing's working out for me right now in San Francisco, so why not? And a one-way ticket at the time from San Francisco to Maui was like $150. Nice. Super cheap, right? So I show up on Maui, and I start working as a landscape installer. And we were on the new Courtyard Marriott. So today when you fly onto Maui, there's the Marriott, and right across the street from the Marriott is the Costco. And for the first 3 months of my time on the island, that's where I was every day.
Wow.
The project ended
Wait, at Costco?
right across the street, the
Got it,
Marriott.
okay.
Yeah. And once the project ended, and I was unemployed, I took my savings, and for 2 weeks I just cruised around the island. I had this 1984 C10 Chevy truck, and it was just the best time. But money ran out, and I started looking for employment. And on Craigslist, I found a classified listing for Distiller's Apprentice.
Wow.
And
Craigslist.
on
Let's
Craigslist.
go.
Craigslist.
That's
And
awesome.
I thought I was going to work for Sammy Hagar's distillery because at the time Sammy Hagar was making a Maui rum.
Wow.
I was like, oh man, it's so exciting. I'm going to be working for a rock star. But it wasn't. It was Jim Sargent was the owner of Haleakala Distillers. The other head distiller, Brian, he had been there for maybe like 5 years, 6 years. And I show up and they just start teaching me the ropes. Really grunt work to begin, trying to test you, see if you're willing to get dirty and learn.
What are some of those things that you had to do
Like
as the
literally-
Early on, I always had to go get molasses, and I would drive down to the sugar mill. We had a 250-gallon tote on the bed of the truck, and about 3 days a week, almost 4, I'd go get a fresh load of molasses, bring that back to the distillery.
Like from the ground, molasses. Like this isn't just like let me
It's-
pick
yeah,
up a
it's,
tub of.
It looks like an oil refinery. This factory.
Got it.
Wow.
And the amount of acreage for cane at the time, which is no longer there, the facility is closed, and a lot of those cane fields are now for sunflowers,
Okay.
which looks really beautiful in that sense too. But I mean, they had thousands of acres for cane, and sugar cane in Hawaii was a huge industry from like the early, I want to say like 1930s, 1940s it started. But molasses is this really sticky syrup
Yeah.
that is the byproduct of sugar production. And to make sugar, which we do in Florida, which makes sense, I make my rum using Florida sugar
Okay.
Awesome.
and with molasses. But you have to crush the cane to get the juice, and then you have to boil that juice so it crystallizes.
Right.
And so sugar comes from cane juice. But after that process is complete, there's this charred cane juice that is now called molasses.
Okay.
And so a lot of the sugar is extracted. There is still some sugar in molasses, but it's not the same.
Okay.
And so when you make rum, you need 3 ingredients. You need water, yeast, and cane sugar. Now, the form of cane sugar can be derived in multiple ways. It can be cane juice, it can be cane sugar, it can be a brown cane sugar, it can be cane molasses. They can be mixed. So each profile is going to give you a different flavor. Or rather, each form of sugar gives you a different flavor profile. But because I was taught to make rum using molasses, that's what we did here in Florida.
Sweet.
Okay.
So you were doing that in Hawaii, back and forth, doing the grunt work.
Yes.
And then what made you decide like I need to do this forever?
There was so a year in, I transitioned into distiller. So I got my title from apprentice to distiller, and so then I really started to understand that process of the production, right? So to start, you have to make the juice that you want to distill, and then you distill that juice to turn it into liquor. Once I got into that phase of it, and I told my mom what I was doing, she mentioned about a local rum distillery in Cape Coral. I was like, what do you mean? And she says, yeah, there's this new rum distillery. People keep talking about it. It's on the news. She sends me a bottle. I was like, okay, there is some real rum being made in Florida locally, right? Like we grew up in Naples, Cape Coral, you know,
like
when we were
right
growing up, Cape Coral was only 30 minutes away. Today's an hour.
That's so true. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Like without traffic an hour. Yeah.
And then my mom came back and asked if I'd be interested in opening a distillery at home. And I said, of course, I'll come home and make rum. And that was it. And so then we started the process of looking for a building, understanding the laws, federal and state.
Right. And you guys were in Punta Gorda to start.
Yes,
No. Well, yes, yeah. We started in Punta Gorda, but we were
living here.
living here.
Well, you were living
Yes.
here,
Yeah.
but the space that you found to have your distillery was in Punta Gorda.
Correct. Yeah.
And I know that you guys were there for
About 8 years.
8
8
years.
years. Yeah.
8 years we ran the distillery in Punta Gorda.
And Hurricane Ian
Yeah, and
happened.
and you know we got hit twice. So the first COVID, we transitioned into hand sanitizer, and for months that was our only production, was to make hand sanitizer.
Oh my gosh,
Yes,
really?
yes, and
Out of
I mean,
molasses. No, I'm kidding.
Gold rush.
Right,
hand
right.
sanitizer.
Wait, actually?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
And so the idea of hand sanitizer.
So cool. I had no
rather,
idea. Molasses had so many.
It's not gonna taste like that at the bar,
Yeah.
guys. I
Yeah,
swear.
do not
Not
taste the hand
the, not the
sanitizer.
idea. But this is what we're doing to produce hand sanitizer is creating a alcohol content that is going to terminate the virus, right? And we like for that content to be at 80%. And so when we say 80% alcohol, we're talking about 160 proof.
Okay.
Right? You don't buy that type of alcohol in a bottle
No.
to drink. It
Right.
doesn't exist really. And so to get to that content, you have to distill multiple times. And so each time you distill, you're refining the product and making it stronger or purer
Right.
rather. And so, no, we don't do that with our rum.
Yeah.
But for the purposes at the time,
I mean, you had the
Yeah.
facility.
we had the facility.
It was
Right.
in a high demand
High
to get
demand,
hand
huge need.
sanitizer, right? And you
And-
guys cured
and-
COVID right here in
And
Southwest
people
Florida.
were trying to consume hand sanitizer at one point. So, we had to put on the label, it's not for consumption.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
And then the federal government was like, okay, you have to put hydrogen peroxide and glycerin in there. So it's like when people try to drink it, it gives them like that really like tart or like harsh flavor.
Yeah.
So they would spit it out, and it's just like, it was a weird time.
Yeah,
COVID
it was a weird time. But you guys,
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like you made the most of it. I mean, you were
So, and
service provider for
yeah,
sure.
so like, yeah,
Essential workers.
We were
Essential
essentials.
workers.
Yeah.
And still to this day, making
It's,
rum.
yeah.
It's essential.
And then Ian hit in 2022. So it was just like, wow, like we went through COVID. Now we got to deal with this hurricane damage, and driving from Bonita to Punta Gorda 6 days a week, and then coming home, living in a camper with, a home that got flooded 32 inches. I was like, I gotta transition. I gotta be closer to home
Yeah.
so that I can get this house back to living space. And it is. I love my house now. It's great. And I love that I'm only 10 minutes away from my new work
Yeah.
office,
Amazing.
if you will. Yeah.
And you guys been working on, so it's called Hide-A-Wai.
Hide-A-Wai, yeah.
Hide-A-Wai. And are you going to have the Alligator Bay Distilleries? Obviously, I know that's your brand and your liquor, or the bottle that you sell. Is that going to be on the face of the building? Like when we drive by, when people go and visit you when you're open later on this year, what is the building going to say?
On the outside, it's going to say Hide-A-Wai.
Hide-A-Wai.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
But the production area, which is inside, that's going to be Alligator Bay Distillers.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it is two entities essentially.
Correct.
The distillery and then the place where we come and hang out,
Right.
maybe bring our laptop, have a coffee in the morning,
Yes.
Exactly.
and then have a cocktail in the evening. Okay.
And the reason we wanted to keep them distinctly different is with the space, we went from roughly 3,000 square feet of production to 400.
Okay.
And the previous space, I offered free tours, and I would bring groups around 20 through the facility, explaining the process, so they understood what they were drinking and how that was made.
That's cool.
But
Like a
because
field
our
trip.
space is, and it was huge, yeah. But because the space is so small, I can no longer bring people into my kitchen,
Sure.
right? And so because of that transition, we decided to make people, we'll hope that people will see that, yes, everything's being made on site. You can't come in, but you can still experience it at this new patio, if you
Sure.
will.
And you can see inside. Like that's the visuals. You're
Yes.
gonna see
Yeah.
you guys working, and it's like when you're, getting sushi. It's always fun to sit at the bar when you can see them making it.
Right.
It just adds the experience. So your patio, how many people would that seat?
Occupancy right now, I believe, is at 62.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
And so we'll have 2 6-tops, 5 tops, and then we have a rail bar alongside our picture glass windows.
Okay.
So the picture glass window is basically when people are like standing there drinking, they can actually see on the inside of the production floor and see everything that's going on. And then we're talking about possibly putting in a tent top in the back, on the back side of the patio. Yep.
Nice.
So
And if I had to guess, I don't know, you're back of house, you're the distiller, and you're front of house. Is that
correct. Yes.
Yeah.
right? Okay.
Can you talk to us a little bit about that initial concept of bringing the brothers together and doing that? Because you mentioned your mom kind of almost convinced you to come back in a way.
Right.
When did Ben jump into that?
There was a right after she suggested the idea and I agreed. She was like, Ben wants to be a part of it too. I was like, great. And she's like, we should send him out there for an internship. And so I asked the owner of the distillery if Ben could come out, and he came out for a 4-week internship.
No,
In Maui.
yeah,
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
the first was I went out for 10 days on my 25th birthday. So I, at the time, was working at Mercedes-Benz in Naples as a mechanic. And I had a week vacation coming up. So I remember walking into my service manager's office and I go, oh, I only have a week, but can I extend it for like 10 days? And he's like, where are you going? I'm like, to Maui. And he's like, I don't know if I'm going to give you 3 extra days. And I was just like, well, I'm going to take them regardless. You know, it's all the way at the Maui.
Yeah.
So I jumped on a plane and I went to Maui. And I remember the flight out there. My brother's like, oh yeah, you should just do one-way tickets, you know, like go from here, go to LAX to Maui. Well, I didn't listen. So I ended up going from RSW to O'Hare to Seattle to Maui. And when I finally got there, I was just like, what time is it? Where am I? It was like a 19-hour flight just to get out there.
Oh,
Right.
man.
But when I finally got out there, it was like a whole different experience. So then I remember my brother was like, okay, well, you know, you're here now, but we have to go to work the next day. And I was like, what time's work? He's like, around like 5:30 in the morning. I was like, that's a little early, you know? But I remember when I went to the farm, because it was actually on a farm. It was in Haleakala. So like in Maui, it was like what, 2,000, 3,000 feet above sea level.
Wow.
So we were staying in like,
Wow.
in more of like, it was a more local town. It was called Pukolani.
Okay.
And so my brother was renting a room with one of his friends. What was his name?
Fast Fred.
Fast Fred. Yeah, Fast Fred.
Fred.
Fast Fred, he was part of a band.
Sweet.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll have
yeah.
to try to get some pictures if you guys have any to,
Yeah.
to add to
Yeah.
this. And if you're listening, take a look at some of the photos we're going to put on the screen because that sounds beautiful.
So I remember when I woke up that morning before we left, I was looking out in the valley because you could see like the airport, but then you could see the sugarcane, the stack. It was just like burning, and so it was like releasing all that fuel. And then we went up to the actual distillery itself, and so I always thought a distillery was going to be like, you know, like a mad science lab.
Right.
You know, like you have all these measurements and jars all over the place.
Yeah, like machinery.
Yeah.
And, right?
Mm-hmm. And we get there and it's just like, it's like a farm. It's like, it was like a old brick, almost like a brick shed. And I was like, what is this place? Like, this is a
Sweet.
distillery.
Yeah.
And then I remember my brother opening the front door to the distillery, and I got the first whiff of alcohol. And it was just like, whoa.
Yeah.
It was just like, he's like, okay, we're here, so now we're going to go start the day. And I was like, how do you stand in that room? It's like
I'm gonna.
I just got so
dizzy.
lightheaded
Yeah.
so quickly. And then the grunt work started. Then we would go to the back of the distillery. So like my brother said, he would go pick up molasses. And so the molasses would be on the back of the truck. We'd have to hook up this hose. And then we have to transfer the molasses from the truck into another tote. And then we would get a certain measurement, like around 75 gallons worth. And then we'd have to dilute it with water. And then we'd insert these mixers that were just like homemade. It was just like, they would just like sit on top. And I was like, this is how you make alcohol? I was like, I didn't think this is how we did it. But
Right.
I just remember once all the molasses was mixed, he's like, okay, now we hook up this hose to this tank, and then you have to go and you have to open up all these valves and everything. And I was just like, this is a lot of work. This is like hard work.
And you're a mechanic.
mechanic.
Like,
Yeah.
This is like, to me, I'm like, yeah, your work is like, that would be, or you were a mechanic. I don't
Yeah.
know. Still.
I
But
still
it's
am,
like,
yeah,
You
but-
know how this works, but apparently distillery is even more
Yeah.
complex. It sounds it.
Yeah.
And
And it
all
was,
that training, rather, that I was giving him was exactly how I envisioned what we were going to be doing in Punta Gorda.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And so when we finally left the island, we had the blueprint.
yeah.
Sure.
And we would like be like, okay, at our building, where's our molasses going to be?
Right.
Where are our tanks going to be?
I love it. Like you said, it's
Yeah.
a day internship kind of thing, and you
Yeah.
saw like lay of the land. And I know that agriculture. I was reading something, an article about you guys, and agriculture is a big part of what you're passionate about.
Yes.
Mhm.
Can you speak a little bit about that? I know you work with. I'll let you speak on.
Yes, and
service
when it comes to any form of alcohol, we were talking about beer, wine, liquor. It is a plant-based product, right? Now the
It's vegan,
derivative,
you guys.
exactly,
It's
yeah,
vegan. It's
And low
vegan.
calories
Yeah,
too, for that matter.
and a derivative of each is different. And so, just a quick rundown: whiskey is from grain. Commonly, we know what corn whiskey is. Corn, right? Tequila comes from agave. Rum comes from cane, right? Brandy comes from grapes. If you want to make beer, hop, wheats, water. If you want to make wine, grapes, water, yeast. And so knowing that we have everything that we need to make rum from Florida, that's what we want to stick with, right? We don't need to order exotic fruits from different parts of the world, which was also fun too. There's nothing wrong, in doing that, but we very much love supporting the local farmer, the ones that are out there in Clewiston, harvesting the cane, to the truck driver that's bringing the sugar to the ports to ship. And a lot of people don't know, but at one point, and I should check data again, but 40% of domestic sugar is made in Florida.
Wow.
So, we make a lot of sugar in this
100%.
state, right?
Yeah.
And sugar is in everything, right? I mean, there's sugar in everything. So
That's what
it's
they say.
it's a big commodity.
It is.
It's like $1 billion industry here.
Yeah.
Wow.
So did you get the name Alligator Bay because, Florida, right?
Yes,
I want to
we
hear
found
about
it on the map, and as much as I love the Florida farmer, I also like the local Florida community. And when we moved into Punta Gorda, I took out a nautical map. I was actually looking for a kayak launch, and we hadn't picked a name yet. And there is a kayak launch in Port Charlotte at Port Charlotte Beach Park, and the bay in front of it is Alligator Bay. And I was like, whoa. And I was like, there's an Alligator Bay right here on Peace River. I'm going to use it. That's the name I'm going to use. And no one else in that community had taken that name for anything. So we were the only Alligator Bay business.
Awesome.
But there's 2 alligator bays actually. There's actually one down in the Everglades.
There's another one in Everglades.
Yeah. Very
Not
cool.
associated.
Not associated. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. But
But
do they do rum?
no,
No,
I mean,
no.
there's another bay called Alligator Bay.
Oh,
Yeah,
there's two
no,
bays. There's
yeah.
literally two
Two
bays.
alligator
Two bays,
bays.
yeah.
Called
Sorry.
Alligator Bay. Okay.
And
well,
I don't even
then,
know how I found that one. I think I typed in Alligator Bay one day, and then Google Maps brought me down to that
Right.
one.
Hey, that's great.
Yeah,
Cool.
the
So,
Everglades.
and the name Hide-A-Wai, where does that come from?
So we started off with, we
10 different names.
yeah, we had many names. One of the best original names we had created was Hermanos Hide-A-Wai. So we're brothers, and we were spelling Hide-A-Wai the right way.
Some of our friends were joking all the time, like Mohi Bros.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Mojitos, right?
Yeah.
Mojito.
And I really wanted to tie in my Maui experience. I felt accepted by the people of the island. They saw me as a hard worker, and really that's all you need to do when you're there, if you're not native or local.
Be kind and work hard. Right?
Yes, and way that we use is a Hawaiian word, and it's pronounced Wai, W-A-I, and it means water. And given that it's one of the main ingredients, one of the 3, plus we're only 100 feet away from Imperial River,
Yeah.
right? So I wanted to tie in water, and that's where the
Hide-A-Wai.
moniker, I guess, popped up. It was, but many names.
Copper and Cane was one of them.
Copper and Cane was one, yeah.
Mojito River Bar was another one.
Yeah. Casa Mojito was one of my
Casa Mojito,
favorites.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good
Oh,
one.
and then Bonito Mojito was another.
Bonito.
Mojito. Mojito.
Yeah,
I mean,
Bonito
that could be
Mojito,
a
yeah.
drink name, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure you
Oh
guys
my
are.
gosh,
Yeah.
yes. You could
So-
do Benito Mojito as well and just,
Right.
Puerto Rican it up a little bit.
Yeah. Because Mojito is going to be kind of the star of the show. You're going to have
Yeah.
other beverages, which we want to hear about.
Yeah.
I kind of want to dive in, have our listeners and our audience kind of get a visual of the space, because I know you guys are working hard to get it open. But when you open the door to the space, what is it going to look like? I know you said six tops. It's
6
gonna
tops,
seat
5 tops,
62,
and then we have a rail bar.
and you're going to have a bar.
Yeah. So when we approached the city of Bonita or the development, we were talking to them about what exactly we were presenting, and at that time we had to follow the new FEMA code, and so our build out couldn't. What is it?
100 feet from the river, yeah.
There's different rules to follow when you're attaching a structure to a current structure.
Okay.
And if we had done such, we wouldn't be able to do it.
Right.
If we had attached the patio to the warehouse.
We would have to not just flood-proof our unit, but the salon,
Yeah.
Angles bait shop, and the bicycle shop.
All
So that
connected.
whole strip
Because
would
they're
have to
on
be.
one
So how
property.
do you?
Yeah.
So what are we doing?
So, and there is another request from the code, if I will.
Yeah.
They wanted it to look old Florida.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went back to Ben and I said, hey, we got to find an architect that knows Florida. And sure enough, one of my best friends, Joe Wynn, is a Naples native, graduated from UF, got his master's in architecture at University of Colorado, Denver. And when I told him what we needed to do, he's like, we're going to create a detached patio. So the patio that we installed has no connection to the current building.
Yeah.
And in that reason, we didn't have to follow the FEMA.
Love it.
Restrictions,
There's always
so-
a workaround. You just got to
Yes.
use your resources.
Yeah.
Shout out to Joanne.
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
Awesome.
But I think that's why it's taken us like 2 years. Like everyone's like, even my fiance, she's like, why is it taking so long? Why is it taking so long? And it's like, well, we have to follow the new FEMA code.
Right.
There's new rules and regulations set in place now because of the flood. Our bar's portable. It's on wheels. So
Okay.
if you're to lean up against the bar, it will push backwards a little bit,
Okay. Was that intentional for the bar to be portable, or is that also because of?
I remember that when we sat down, we had like a Zoom meeting with all like the city officials.
Yeah.
And there was like 7 little screens. And I remember that when they were talking about the bar, someone mentioned about a portable bar. And it says, oh, yeah, that's fine. We can make it portable. So in case of another storm surge, we can just wheel it out of there.
Sure.
But then they kind of want everything to be on casters inside of the distillery, which is fine. I mean,
Yeah.
it just makes it easy for transportation.
I mean, then can you put it on your storefront, like during a parade or something? I mean,
So the bar itself it'll be locked in place,
okay.
even though it's on casters. And the only purpose of it being movable was so that we can
For hurricanes.
storm mitigate.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
When you said
when you
portable,
walk up,
I'm like, here we
yeah,
go.
right. Yeah. But when you do walk up to the bar off of Old 41, you're going to be met by a I don't know what the best term is, but an associate rather at the register. And
Yeah, so
and
we
there
have
you'll
a
be-
podium there
yeah,
where
A
you're going to
host.
come up,
A host,
hostess,
yeah.
a host.
And then there is where you'll be able to place your order. And then immediately to the left, about 12 feet worth, is our bar.
Mm-hmm.
And there you'll be able to watch your drink being made.
Got it. And then it's
Right.
brought to your, like
Yeah.
you have a number kind of thing, and you sit at your.
Right.
So like the concept
Table.
of the bar, the ordering at the bar is going to be something similar to like the Marlin Bar at Tommy Bahamas and Coconut
Okay.
Point.
Okay.
Yeah, so you'll order at the podium. We'll give you a number. You go find your seat, sit down,
Great.
and then we'll walk it to you, your order
Great.
to you, and then we'll have either a bartender or a server come up with like the satellite, the kiosk,
Sure.
and they'll come and ask how you're doing. If you need another cocktail, and we'll just try to keep it going.
That's
like
gonna be
that.
awesome. Yeah, I think that's awesome. And you're gonna do mojitos, obviously.
Yep.
What other drinks are we doing?
So
If you
what
can share.
what the mojitos we're going to be doing guarapo, and what guarapo is it's just sugarcane juice. So fresh sugarcane. We have a sugarcane juicer that we bought. It's like a 4-roller system. So that's something that not only are the guests going to see like visually, but they're going to see us juicing, and then they're going to actually see the copper stills in the background, a little bit of the fermentation. They're also going to see like the bottling aspect of it as well.
And you're using this rum
Yes,
in all of your cocktails.
correct. The Alligator Bay
If
white rum.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Mhm.
And then
And then you're gonna sell that there.
the bottles we cannot sell
Yeah.
at our location.
Got it. So you got to know somebody.
Yeah.
It's a good
we
thing.
we have, and that's part of the new distillery bill that was passed in 2021. So prior to this bill of 2021, we were not allowed to serve cocktails at our facility.
Okay.
We could only sell bottles of rum. After that law passed, we started thinking about what we could do to serve drinks at our spot in Punta Gorda, which we did. We had the pina coladas. We did a mojito. We did like
Painkillers.
painkillers. Yeah, so kind of like your classic rum cocktails.
Sure.
But when we moved to Bonita said you can't sell bottles of liquor. And I said, oh, okay. Well, if we can't sell bottles of liquor, we can still sell cocktails, right? And they're like, yeah. And so we're like, okay, well, that's what we'll do now. We'll just work on that. But with that bill, it also let us go to like farmers markets,
Sure.
music festivals. So we can still sell our bottle, but it's just going to be at events.
I think that's kind of cool, honestly, because then it's if somebody really likes the cocktail and really likes the rum, they're gonna make the effort to go find it, especially because it's so local and different. And I think it's a great gift. I might have to get some for some clients.
course.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yes.
after I taste it, of course. We're breaking it open today. Shot. It's Cinco. So we're recording on Cinco de Mayo. This will come out later, but I think it's just awesome.
Set the stage.
And to piggyback on the offering, so yes, we will immediately have white rum to sell. We have a nice inventory of it ready to go. Behind that, we have roughly, I don't know, maybe 1,000 bottles of aged rum. And the aged varies from roughly 3 to like 10 years.
10 years, yeah.
Okay.
Right? So then we're going to have an aged rum. It has like that nice like oaky, almost bourbon profile to it.
Yeah.
And we can also bring in spirits to bottle. So spirits that we don't distill, we can bring in package and then serve in a cocktail. And so from Kentucky, we can buy a barrel of bourbon. It could be made by Jim Beam, but we can't disclose that on our labeling, right?
Okay.
So here comes this bourbon. It probably comes in at like 60 proof, so you got to dilute it, bring it down to 40, put it in a bottle. We can call it Hide-A-Wai bourbon, and then now we can make you some old fashions.
Got
And
it.
I can do the same with tequila. You can get a barrel of tequila from Mexico, bring that tequila in, bottle it, call it, what it
Right.
be, and then
So this is gonna be a unique experience. When I go to the counter or I order my beverage, I'm not saying Tito's and soda, right?
No.
I'm saying Hide-A-Wai
Yeah.
and soda.
yes.
And I
Or-
think at,
Yes.
some, at some point, I'm sure the Floridians, the locals, are going to be like, Tito's and soda, and you're going to be like, absolutely. And you're just going to pour whatever
Right.
vodka you do have,
Yeah.
and that's going to be it. But
Right.
like,
I will definitely try all of like your cocktails. I'm
Yeah.
like that
Yeah.
person. Like got in trouble the other night at
Yeah, so
Shack sessions when I had the open bar at the Chartreuse. I was like, oh my gosh, these are so tasty and so good, and you have to be very careful how many you drink.
oh yeah,
It's strong, right? I
Yes.
mean, like,
yeah.
yeah. So, what are some of the cocktails you're gonna have on the menu? Have you chosen names and stuff? Can we give any sneak peeks?
We will have our mojitos.
Yeah.
The guarapo, and again, the guarapo is a Cuban creation. It's fresh pressed cane juice, seltzer water with your choice of fruit, and then we're gonna have ranch.
Non-alcoholic Gatorade.
Yep, non-alcoholic
Hey, Matt.
Gatorade.
we got
What's
we got Matt
up
Slaughter
in
background.
the
He's a partner.
corner?
He's a partner.
Yeah, so we'll have like mojitos, which will be the flagship. Then we plan on bringing out the vodka cocktails as well.
Cool.
And then of course the NA non-alcoholic. Yeah.
And the
Great.
ranch,
So-
the
or
ranch way is
mocktails,
going to be similar to a popular ready to drink vodka seltzer. And so
Like
we're
in a can?
yeah, but we're not going to serve it in a can, but
Okay.
it's just that's going to be the product.
It's being a
So-
seltzer like on draft.
No, like vodka, add seltzer, and then add fruit.
Got it.
And so we're going
Very
to make
fresh.
that
It's a
canned drink
cocktail,
to serve.
essentially, yeah.
Yeah. And the crossover between the menus is going to be the fruits. And so when you come, you can order your classic mojito, but then offering on top of that will be the pineapple mojito, the strawberry, the mango, the kiwi,
Sure.
the blackberry. Same with the ranch way,
Yeah.
right? So you got your base vodka seltzer, add your fruit. And then our Gatorade drink, similar with some cane juice, choice of fruit, a little sodium, and then we're going to introduce our coffee service in the morning. So at 8 a.m., you can come to the patio. I'll serve you a mojito if that's what you want, but I'm expecting a lot of coffee drinkers
Yeah.
during the early shift, early morning shift.
So
And
for the person listening who doesn't really, maybe they drink alcohol, but they're like, I'm not a rum person. Why would they come in to Hide-A-Wai?
I think for the ambiance, I mean, honestly, like, if you just came to sit down and didn't order anything, I would love it because I would know that you're there for that relaxing.
Purely on vibes,
uh,
baby.
Yeah.
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 Well, I was speaking to, I talk about Bonita all the time, but I was speaking to somebody and talked about the fact that, folks will start all the way down, let's call it even a Canary Club, and they'll just do the walk. Specifically on Saturday mornings, I find I'll be coming back from the gym, and at 9, 10 a.m., people are walking all the way to the river if they want to, and then they go all the way back. And so you guys are right there, perfect stop along the way. And every single time, I swear to you, every single time I see them stopped, they're usually stopped at that corner looking and being like, what's that gonna be?
that
I almost want to scream out my window like, it's gonna be a mojito bar, you're gonna love it,
Yeah.
but like,
Yeah.
Yeah, like at 3:30, that little corner there, it gets packed.
Absolutely.
Traffic jam.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
good for y'all.
yeah,
They're better to be on foot, that's for sure.
yeah. There's some interesting Venetians there that get upset with some of the out of towners
Oh yeah,
because they see that sign right there that says like "Stop for pedestrians,"
I'm one of them.
and they'll stop. And then you hear the guy go, he'll be honking. He's like, it's not a stop sign.
Yeah.
And it's just
Like
like,
you only have to stop if somebody's there. Yeah, I know. It's fun. Yeah.
yeah.
I'm so excited to try this out. And we're thinking summer, generally summer of 26. Is that right?
Yes, our initial idea was late spring, which is still possible, but we're just going through some clerical stuff right now.
I feel like that's pretty normal, right? I
Yeah.
mean, we're seeing everything in Bonita kind of have whether it's coming in or being revamped, like ceremony or brand new patio or an addition. I mean, there's so much happening. I feel like this summer is just something's gonna pop and feel like I've been detoured almost
Oh
every
my
day on
gosh.
Route 41. I'm
We
like,
got
"Oh."
construction on construction on
Yeah.
construction. So
It's
But
intense.
everybody's excited about it, and there's so much newness coming, and I feel like this highly anticipated different concept. I mean, I got to give you guys props, and I think it's really cool that you're like, yeah, we're going to be a mojito bar, and we're going to have different options, but like that's our thing. So, and it's going to be packed.
We hope, yes.
I mean, really, it's Bonita.
I'm a little worried about like, am I going to have enough sugar cane? Am I going to have enough of the fruit? Am I going to have enough of the puree?
Yeah.
So.
Well,
you
it'll
know.
be a good test. And I
Yeah.
feel like summertime, right? Like you guys are all outdoor seating. Is that
Yes,
right?
correct.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's all
Most
patio
of it is
seating.
covered.
Okay.
Yeah, and then there is a little bit that isn't under the patio on the backside. There is also the idea of allowing guests to pack their food in. We don't have the space to create a kitchen.
Sure.
But if you bring your food with you,
Oh, cool.
order
You could
in.
do like picnic, or you could order from rooftop or so
Yeah.
forth.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that'd be awesome.
that's
Yeah.
a nice
Yeah.
collab.
Or they
They
can
just
come
go
bring
to
a
a food truck
pizza.
and then
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go to
Yeah.
Grandpa's Pizza, go to Canary Club, get the pizza.
Yeah.
get
Oh,
some
we
tacos
love
at
that.
Maria's
Buffalo
across
chips.
the river.
Yeah.
My favorite buffalo chips.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
buffalo chips. That's so good to know. I'm so happy you mentioned that because that's sometimes like I really want Canary Club pizza, but I really want a mojito that you guys make.
Right.
That collaboration I just love Bonita for. I mean, where else can you do that in Southwest Florida? I don't know that many places, at least not in Naples. Does anyone else?
No, yeah.
I mean,
I'll tell you what, too. It's going to be nice when it rains and people are looking for a quick place to
Yeah.
jut into, and they're like, Chris cocktail. Let me just slide over there.
Actually,
Yeah.
before we even thought about the patio, my brother wanted to do umbrellas, like Downtown House of Coffee.
sure.
And I was like, well, when it rains, it pours. And
Yeah.
like when that happens, we're going to lose all our customers. So I told my brother, let's do a patio. We should do a patio, cover patio.
Smart. Yeah.
So then he went back to Joe, and it took about a couple of weeks for him to come back with just an idea of how we wanted the patio.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm kind of happy that we did it, because now when it rains, it's like we stand out there and it's just like, okay, this is nice. It's
Yeah.
covered,
Yeah.
and then we'll have we'll have music out there as well eventually,
Okay.
so we'll, bring the vibe.
Nice.
We'll bring some of that Latin culture in there with us as well.
I was going to ask you about that. speaking
Caribbean
on the vibe.
culture as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Steel drums.
Wow. Like live music?
Yes.
Live music, yeah. And I also
Nice.
like to get some salsa dancers in there as well, because
Yeah.
mojito and the salsa kind of goes hand in hand.
I read somewhere recently, and I might be the last to know this, but that Bonita Springs is going to be probably per radius, per square mile, like the most live music in, I got to fact check this, but I want to say like all of South Florida.
That
Really?
sounds-
Wow.
I
For the
mean,
amount of places opening, right, that are going to offer some form of live music within
Yeah.
walking distance. I mean, I don't know anywhere else that I drive a lot. I sell real estate. I'm
Right.
everywhere. I don't know anywhere else that does that.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
there's a new honey
Collier
hole.
Early.
The honey hole is going to be a performance center.
Yeah.
Ceremony, they'll do live shows, and
Yeah.
and I've even seen their wrestling events. They
Oh, yeah.
The mini wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like
Those
it's
are
just
fun.
going to be
Yeah.
everywhere. Yeah. Speaking of kind of the collaboration of Bonita, tell us a little bit about the background. I know Matt is here today and he's
Hola.
got a microphone. He's not on camera. but
background.
He's in the background. But he's one of your partners, right? So
Yes.
how many people are a part of Hide-A-Wai and Alligator Bay Distilleries coming to life here in Bonita?
So it's been the two of us since the beginning.
Okay.
Yeah. And so we never really hired anybody
Yeah.
when we opened in Punta Gorda. And now we're going to start hiring here soon. So we're going to be looking for bartenders, managers.
Okay.
Alex will be in charge of the back of the house. So I will be there as well. But then the front of the house I'll be in charge of. So, getting everything prepped up, getting everything ready for bar service. Matt is our partner now in the business. So he's now considered a manager.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's just
So-
the three. I mean,
Yeah.
essentially.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
great. Cool.
And who's doing the molasses grunt work?
yeah.
I will. It's,
Yeah.
I like that part of my job.
Yeah.
So
You're
it's
still
like-
doing it?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to.
So are you going? So where?
Oh no! Now it's just gonna be delivered.
yeah, because
Yes.
you guys are getting it from Clewiston, right? Which
Right.
part of the state? Clewiston?
Yeah.
Anywhere
Yes.
else? This is our shout-out
South
bit.
Bay. Also, so Florida Crystals, they're east of Clewiston. I like their stuff too, and there's 3, 4, 5 mills out there. We've gone to 3 of them,
Yeah, we've
and
gone
there
to Belglade.
and there's actually different qualities, if you will. Like
Yeah.
I remember
So-
the
so
Belglade
sweet, so
molasses.
polite.
Yeah.
Different quality.
The Belglade molasses didn't have the sugar content I expected,
Okay.
and so and there was just a little hiccup there because the Clewiston mill decided to not take in small trucks anymore,
Okay.
Yeah.
and so then we started getting so then we had to transition.
Yeah.
We got ourselves a 5,000 gallon tank. We used to get molasses delivered, and at that quantity, but now it will come in barrels.
Okay.
Like so drums, if you will, like
Right.
barrel drums.
We used to, in the beginning, go pick up the molasses in Clewiston. And I remember that. It's like on the way there, the truck was like super light. It was like easy to handle. And then on the way home, it's just like a little bit more aggressive at the wheel because if you made like a slight turn, the molasses would turn with the truck, would shift.
Yeah.
And it was a little scarier. And then, of course, the brakes weren't that great. So I was just like,
With the
oh,
brakes
really?
sticky because of the molasses?
Yeah.
Spilled everywhere.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
And I would add, as partners, we have to shout out our patient spouses and significant others
Yeah.
as we've been going through a construction process. And construction is very challenging, especially when you don't have a nice GC like Hooch and to handle everything for you. And we have a lot of relationships with friends and other business owners and business connections and personal connections. And we've called in all the connections that we
Yeah.
have to try and make this happen. And I think we're all going to be very relieved and excited that the construction process has been fun and challenging, but taking off the construction hat and putting on the the rest the bar hat
Yeah.
and do the cool parts of producing the rum, being selling bottles that are made on site, and they can talk about every detail of every ingredient, and they can vouch for that, and then present and then bring it into a finished product and just a cool place ambiance. So
Yeah.
the whole package from start to finish. So
I think it's awesome. I think it's quite the victory. And like I said, that having such a hyper niche thing, right? You're not just a bar with like a couple TVs. Nothing wrong with that. We all need that. But
Yeah.
these experiences that Bonita and Southwest Florida is starting to have is like, and from people who are from here and, grew up here and went other places and had an education and became passionate about one thing and bringing it back in our hometown and pulling any strings you need to and making the call like, dude, I need help with XYZ, and people come together. Has it been a positive experience as far as, I know the city and the permitting and all that can be, a headache no matter what it is, but
Yeah, there's just I think the learning experience is where you fall into these time gaps.
Okay.
And so you don't do it right the first time. And then that delay to fix it, and then the delay for that to process. That's the only part that I would get a little frustrated over.
Yeah.
But overall, it has been one of the most memorable experiences that I think we're going to have for our life. That our concrete contractor, Naples executive builder, we went to elementary school with.
Nice.
Of
Shout
course,
out.
the architect, again, I've known him since I was 14.
I wanted to ask you about your tables as well while we're on the
Yeah.
subject.
Yeah.
Where did those come from?
So the two
design.
six tops came from Carlos at Black Mangrove Woodworks.
Sweet.
Right
then-
behind ceremony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then in Punta Gorda, we had a skilled welder. His name is Cosmo Welding and Fabrication, and he manufactured those tables for us. So they're
Fabulous.
they're a little
And
more
the metal screen, the utility screen.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was kind of like one of the first pieces that we put up that people started to recognize what was going on. And it's the Montessera leaf kind of design that's up
Okay.
against the wall.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to light that up too.
It's gonna
Cool.
be
In the
beautiful
back,
at
yeah.
night. Oh
Great.
yeah.
Yeah, some backlight there.
It's going to be Instagram, TikTok ready.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of screens on your patio, it's going to be screened in. Or is it not? Or is it
No.
going to have an option? No.
We haven't decided,
We'll
but
see.
yeah, we'll
Okay.
see.
Maybe
Just
down
making
the
sure.
road.
Yeah.
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 Depending on how the sun breaks
Sure.
through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's nice curb appeal,
Yeah.
but the crosswinds you can feel it like in all directions. Like
Oh yeah.
even when it's
Great.
hot, you still get that breeze and you still feel
Yeah.
it. So there's still a few things that we have to do underneath the patio. Like we still have to put up fans. We still have to get our chairs and furniture in there. And then of course like the decoration comes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my fiance and her friends, they really want to decorate it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, the design. Cool.
Yeah, they
And
want
that-
to make it into like a market setting almost like.
Okay.
And that
going up
comes
to,
back
like, a
to
market.
Yeah.
doing everything again on our own. Like, yes, we thought we're gonna go buy tables and chairs. We couldn't find anything we liked,
Right.
and so we're like, "Hey, can you make us this table, this specific table at this width and length?" And so the whole project is basically custom.
Right.
Like,
Well, and if it's an
a-
ambiance thing, it has to be, right? Because
Yes.
then you're like,
Yeah.
we're here for a drink or two, but we're here for the vibe, like you
Yeah.
said.
Yeah.
And that's why people will come back, I'm so excited to see the space. I'm so excited for everyone else to try it once it's open. And where can hours? We're thinking morning to evening.
Yeah,
Or Thursday.
Monday
to morning.
Monday to Thursday would more than likely be 9 a.m. to 10 p.m.
Okay.
And then on the weekends, which is like Friday, Saturday, we're thinking 9 a.m.
9 a.m. to like 1 a.m.
1 a.m.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was going to ask you this too, just about, we talked a little bit about Bonita and the vibes and all that. Can you paint me a picture as a marketer of your ideal customer? What do they look like? What are they doing? What are they, what's the vibe? Tell me the story of your customer.
I think someone that loves to support local, right? Because all our products, again, coming from the closest Florida farmer possible. So 100% Florida, go for Florida kind of type mindset. But I think it goes for all ranges. Like I want for families to feel comfortable to bring their dog and the children early in the day. And then in the evening for the people that are ready to go dancing and hopefully we have some dancing,
Yeah.
to happen there too.
Everything's portable, so we can just move it aside.
Move it aside, yeah. But I think I don't want there to be any type of like restrictions. I feel like there's something for everybody depending on the time of day,
Yeah.
really. Yeah.
Sweet.
Amazing.
Yeah, I don't have much. I kind of got brain fog.
Well, I mean, we talked about curb appeal. We talked about all these things. I just love the fact that, like I said, you're right on Old 41 and you're just walking right in. Like there's no real barrier to entry there.
Right.
And that goes into what you're talking about this, let's call it opportunity cost of coming in. And in theory, there is none, right? Like there's no barrier to entry. I get to just sit down and hang out and watch Alex make some dope rum. Like
Yeah.
that's so cool. And for locals to be able to see that and get that experience and that taste of Maui, let's call it, down in Bonita, I think is really special. So thanks for bringing it to the heart of Bonita.
Of course.
Yeah,
Thank
we're
you.
super excited. So where can our
Me
audience
too.
find you and follow your journey until you open and beyond?
So right now you can find us on Instagram at Hide-A-Wai.
Hideaway?
So, yeah. And
One
so we
word?
don't. Yes, Hide-A-Wai. Yeah.
And it's HIDEAWAI.
Yeah, Hide-A-Wai. Yeah. Yeah. So the whole Hide-A-Wai name came about was I remember my fiance and we were talking, and I told her, this is like a hidden oasis. And even when before the project began, I was telling a lot of my friends that I would see out in downtown Bonita, and they would always go like, "Oh, where's your new spot?" I'm like, "Oh, it's across the street from Benson's," and they would like, "What's over there?" I'm just like, "The old laundromat in Bonita." I'm like, "Oh, yeah. I know that place. So it's like, it was
Yeah.
always hidden. And even
Right.
if you're looking north, but you're on like the rooftop side, and then you look over, you see Savannah Salon, but you don't see the door that leads into the distillery because it's hidden.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's a hideaway.
I love
And
it.
so everyone has a hideaway, but what's unique about our hideaway is no one spells it the way that we do. Yeah. The Hide-A-Wai. Yeah.
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm super excited. Summer of 2026.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah, I can't wait to paddle up
And so-
on Imperial and then
Oh,
Bonita.
Yeah.
Of course.
And so, another thing to add to the experience is when people come, they're going to see us crafting the mojitos. They're going to see one of us juicing the sugar cane, and then we're going to be making the swizzle sticks. And so the swizzle sticks are the garnish for the actual mojito. So as you're drinking the mojito, then you can take the swizzle stick, which is the sugar cane, and then chew on it. And so
Nice.
that right there will kind of, bring in a little bit more of like the nostalgia,
Yeah.
the authenticity to the product. Because I have a lot of friends that are from South America,
Sure.
and one of their main stories is like, when I was growing up, my grandfather would walk me through a sugarcane field, and then he would peel the sugarcane, and then he'd give me a little bit, and that was like my
treat.
candy
Yeah.
for the day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so-
Natural plant-based candy.
Mhm.
No artificial shit.
And so I know that there are there's a group of individuals that go down to the farmers market down on 3rd Ave, and they are juicing sugarcane, but I think they grow it themselves, like at home,
Yeah.
and it's like it's marketed as organic. And then I know Juicelation.
Yeah,
I think
Juicelations.
they're off of Yale Street.
Mm-hmm.
They also do sugarcane, of course, in their juicing, but I don't ever see anyone doing it to like the scale that.
Right. It's
We
like
wanna
very
introduce it
small
to- yeah.
batches compared. Yeah.
Right.
But if you go to like Miami, it's like all over the place.
Okay.
But if once you come to this coast, it's like, there's only a few people that do it. But
Yeah. Great.
yeah,
Well, we're super excited. Thank you guys so much for being here.
Yes.
you're
thank
welcome.
you.
Thank you.
I love anything else?
No, I
Any
think
last
that's all. You guys
words?
know where to find them. Hideaway on Instagram, Facebook as well, maybe.
Yeah, you can follow
will-
us.
we will get
Alligator
going
Bay.
on-
You
on
can
the
follow
Facebook,
Alligator
yeah.
Bay Distillers as well. Yep.
Yeah.
We're on social media and Facebook and Instagram. Yep.
Sweet.
Mhm.
Okay. Any last words, Matt?
Coming soon.
Coming soon.
Coming
See you
soon.
Hideaway.
Thanks for listening,
Thank
guys.
you.
Thanks.
Thank you.